The National Youth Council of Nigeria, Lagos State Chapter, held meetings across the three senatorial districts of the state in commemoration of the year 2021 International Youth Day. This event took place at Mosun Okunola Youth Center, Abeson, Lagos State, on the 9th August 2021.
Build the youth, build the youth, build the nation, build the youth, build the nation. Let me start on the existing protocol. Today is the beginning of celebration to commemorate the year 2021 International Youth Day. And I want to just appreciate the present Executive Council of National Youth Council of Nigeria, Lagos State Chapter, under the leadership of Mr. William Oba. We call him 001. That's the number one youth in the state. And all other executive members. I just want to encourage us that today's program is a very good one, because the discussion we'll be having for this year, 2021 International Youth Day, is based and will start the involvement of young people in agriculture.
Build the youth,
Build the nation.
build the youth,
Build the nation.
build the nation.
Build the youth.
Well, standing on established protocols, like you said, I'm hesitating my boss, Honorable Princess Olabisi Adebajo, today on this special occasion. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen and fellow young people, I would like to begin by thanking the Governor of Lagos State, His Excellency Mr. Babajide Sanwo-Olu, for his unflinching support towards the physical and intellectual development for the youth of Lagos State. Also, for enabling a platform through which the youth can express themselves without prejudice. I honestly have to say this, one of the most exciting events I've attended, because I love to associate with youth. I must chip in that my chairman belongs to that sector too. We are getting it right, isn't it? Now, it is important to emphasize the positive contribution young people make to our societies. These various activities enrich the social, economic, and cultural fabric of the state. It is therefore pertinent to encourage active participation of the youth in the nation building and development of the country, as this will result in achieving the Lagos State of our dreams, the smart city. Young people are the engine room of any responsible and responsive administration. There are over 1.8 billion young people in the world today. History's largest ever generation of youth. Thus, the aspiration and achievement of these 1.8 billion people will obviously shape the future of the world. No doubt, likely due to the spread of information and communication technology, ICT, today's youth nonetheless have higher expectations than the generations before them, with a stronger grasp of their rights and clever vision of what they are capable of accomplishing, should they receive proper tools and opportunities. The happenings around the world has shown us that more than ever before, the government needs to be able and ready to fully support, empower, engage young people to deliver a sustainable economy. Empower youth by investing in their human capital and innovative solutions they create is only hope to truly build a common sustainability, just a peaceful world. Simply put, we will not be able to end poverty, ensure gender equality, reverse climate change, and achieve the smart city if we fail to empower all the young people in their diversity. I think we deserve a clap. Build the youth. Going by the theme of this year's World Youth Day celebration, Youth Projection for a Greater Lagos, this administration wants to reassure the youth of Lagos West Senatorial District, particularly the youth of Mosun Okunola LCA, that their interests will be given top equality. Please come for my local government, please. We intend to focus on the engagement of young people in response efforts. One of our focal points in this new administration will be continuity in the youth empowerment that we did in our bespoke skill education and employment programs, where we train and empower over 100 young people in Monsongola, and we continue to do more this time around. We're coming back, we are just elected to do more what we have done in the past. Youth empowerment is about making them grow and developing their skills. When our youth is equipped with the essential skills, those skills will help them to lead a better life, increase the employability of youth, which will add to the GDP of the nation and national economy, and will bring about sanity and peace in our community. We urge all stakeholders to invest in building the youth by ensuring they have access to better healthcare services, quality education, increase empowerment opportunities, and all this, I do believe, will restore to a win-win situation, as it will not only give young people the means to improve their own lives, but the lives of our future generation. Finally, I look forward to continue working in hand with you to make sure we are ready and able to deliver together and make history progress. With the theme of this year's celebration, I want to quickly, that's the speech from the chairman. I think there's a window of opportunity for some other youth that I know we're interested in youth. Build the youth. Agriculture has always been sustainable. We need to just focus on agriculture. So on behalf of my chairman, the window is there. Let's have an organized National Youth Council. We can rightly invest, empower in agriculture. That is the statement from the chairman. Take it like that. We will do more than we have done before. Ìgbéga ìpínlẹ̀ Èkó àjùmọ̀ṣe ni, ìgbéga Mọ́sọ̀kọ́lá àjùmọ̀ṣe ni. Thank you.
And of the greatest Nigerian youth. And of the greatest of the greatest of the greatest Nigerian youth. Now we are here. First and foremost, let me quickly observe the protocols. His Excellency Governor Babajide Olushola Sanwo-Olu, the Honorable Commissioner, the Youth Engineer, that we, the youth in Lagos State, refer to him as a youth engineer. He's a comrade, he's a barrister, he's no one person than Honorable Segun Daudu, Honorable Commissioner for Youth and Social Development in Lagos State. Also, I have to observe this as well, the Senator representing the Lagos West Central District, Honorable Solomon Adiola Yayi, also the Right Honorable Speaker of the Lagos State House of Assembly, Right Honorable Mudashir Obasa. Also, I have to do this because this is very important. The Directors of Youth, the civil servants in the Ministry of Youth and Social Development who have been supporting the youthful projections of youth organizations, especially the National Council of Nigeria Lagos State chapter. I recognize you all. Also, the Vice Chairman, Lagos West Central District, Comrade Ademosu Jamiu, the Secretariat of the Council, the Head of the Secretariat, Comrade Abdulakim Agbaje, also the entire executive of the NYCN Lagos State. Also, the coordinators who have been the bedrock of the foundation of the council, not forgetting the voluntary youth organizations who happens to be the foundation of the council as well. You all are duly, and also the CDAs, yes, the Community Development Association, we. All right, thanks so much for honoring our invitation. And our special guests, gentlemen of the press, you all are duly recognized. Thank you so much. First and foremost, I have to remind us that why we are here is because we are commemorating the year 2021 International Youth Day. And we all know the theme of this year's International Youth Day is basically discussing why young people should be actively involved in agricultural economy. And notwithstanding, we all know that the trend that we have in our society today, we actually need more young people to see agricultural economy as a way to go. So on this note, what we are doing at the level of the Youth Council, by putting this town hall meeting together, is because we want a situation whereby, as young people, we can come together, let's listen to ourselves, let's discuss, because we have policymakers in attendance. We from different communities as young people, we are here as well. And I can assure you that this town hall meeting will be very interactive, because we want to hear from you as well. So that when we are discussing with the policymakers, we are not just talking with our own native intelligence. We're actually speaking the mind of every young person in our communities. And also, we have some distinguished guests of honor that we have actually invited. Today, we'll have one of the youngest leader of the House of Ikeja local government coming today. He will join us shortly. Also, we'll send invite to a youth builder who happens to be, she owns a very reputable youth NGO in Lagos State, Mrs. Damilola Sonayo. She'll be joining us. Also, the Vice Chairman of Agege local government, Comrade Benga Abelebu, is on his way to. He'll be joining us very soon. And please, what I want to advise every young person out there is this: we have to see ourselves as the future, as the today of our country. We all have a duty to our country. You may be disappointed in the way things are happening in our country, but the more reason why we have to provide solutions is because we are angry. So instead of trying to neglect your country because you're disappointed, you have to sit down, brainstorm, and provide solution. Because wherever you go, you can't be a first-class citizen. You'll be referred to as a second-class citizen. So home is home. We are the solution. We are the future. And thank you so much for honoring our invitation. Build the youth, build the nation. I love the greatest Nigerian youth. Badagry Division, are you here? Badagry West, Badagry Central, are we here? Otawori, are you here? Otawori, are you here? Iba, are you here? Bosokola, are you here? Boso, are you here? Agege, are you here? Agege, are you here? Alago, are you here? Ikeja, are you here? Ikeja, are you here? Odoro, are you here? Yes. One Lord. Can we please accept that? Thank you. Feel the youth to have a good start. Also, the Lagos State also has the NSTF that helps young people that has business ideas or SMEs to access grant or loans. Now, the question is this: what's the issue? If we have all these things scattered all over the state, then the question is, what's actually missing? Is it that there are some dots that we need to cross so that we'll all be on the same page? And you see, the Lagos State is right at the moment discussing smart city by 2030. It means that any young person who is not taking in that direction may not get something to do when Lagos State gets to the level of smart city agenda. So as young people, we are here now the state that you reside is discussing IT, is discussing digital economy. What are you doing? Probably you need to go back to school and get more certification, or there are some courses that you need to take, so that when the time comes, you fit into it without stress. That's what we need to start thinking right now as young people. Lagos State is discussing digital economy. As young people, we are the ones that will drive that smart city agenda. And the last time at the NYCN Summit, where the Lagos State government is discussing smart city, my question is this: I expect this place to be filled with young people, because 2030, we are discussing my future, then I should be part of that conversation. So, just in case we've missed the NYCN Summit, we went there, as young people, it is our duty to inform ourselves that this is the work, this is what the policymakers are planning. As young people, we have to start positioning ourselves to key into those things. I was discussing with someone one time that, okay, I don't want to go to the farm, I'm not interested in farming, but can I invest in farming? Can I invest in agriculture? He said yes. He had to introduce one company to me that all I need to do is just to pay certain stipend to that company, and I monitor the growth of my investment. It means that there's a connection between you that you don't want to do agriculture and those that are interested in it. They need the financial capacity to invest into agriculture. You have the financial capacity that they need. They have the human capacity to get it done. Why can't you go on the internet, instead of using your internet for things that are not having value? Go on the internet, brush your Google, look at organizations in Nigeria that are helping people to invest into farming without even necessarily going to the farm. And also, please, there's this notion that we have to start correcting. It is my entitlement. They must give it to me, either they like it or not. We need to start correcting it. We all have a duty to our country. Go to the other same line. The youth are the one coming up with solutions for their country. We as young people, we as Lagos State youth, we have to start taking towards that direction as well. Let's provide solutions to our problem. Lagos State, one of the issues that we all know is transportation. There's no how you want to move around Lagos State without experiencing traffic and serious gridlock on the road. Someone needs to provide solution to that. As young people, we have to start thinking. Guess what? If you can come up with a practical solution that will solve Lagos State transportation problem, guess what? You'll make millions. Because the government want to listen to you, that you have solution for me. There are some cases that we have boats capsizing, some mishap. You understand? Why can't we have someone come up with a solution that, okay, in case there's a mishap on our boats in Lagos State, this is what should happen. This is a practical solution. We have to start providing solution to our problem, because thinking that only our leaders should solve it is not going to work. Please. So as young people, what we're here today is, let's talk. Tell us your ideas. Tell us what you think that the government should do, but they are not doing practical things. Thank you very much.
Can we give the chairman a round of applause?
How many minutes do I have to talk?
Now, let's look at 5 minutes.
Very quick. Build the youth.
Build the nation.
Build the youth.
Build the nation.
We're here to talk, and I think we're here to, it's more of an interactive. Can I have one interact with one another. The topic for today is about employability, isn't it? If you ask yourself as a young person, what have you done in this space? Work creation, to my own knowledge, has done a lot trying to create an enabling, employable, skills within amongst the youth. Myself and Oba have been in one of their programs. I'm sorry that I did not acknowledge an existing protocol, but I have a really short time. We've been to their program. They do a lot of things around the youth. My question is, how many of you even pay attention to what is available within the state? Do you have access to this information? Or do you even think this information is something you need to know? We need to get involved. We need to start building an inclusive nature as young people. And let's wake up from the slumber or the mindset that when I come out of school, automatically the government will give me some sort of job or engagement. We are moving to the era of entrepreneurship. We are promoting enterprise. So the job of the future is dependent on you. And that's why when I say a lot of young people gather together, I always say the change is about you. What are you bringing to the table? God at the times that the government is giving you. Now, nobody is giving you anything. But how then do you take advantage of the existing structure, the existing, platform that has been incorporated for young people? E.g., we have the LSCCF, providing loans for young people to become an employer of labor. So I'm not going to dwell much on employability skills. I'm going to dwell more on being employable. How do you employ people? Being an employer of labor. How do you employ people? It's being able to carve a niche within your scope of coverage as a young person. Coming up with amplified solution or creating a new solution that is sustainable enough to develop the community. It's about community development. When I entered this place, one of the things I saw was I realized that within this local government, Abesos, your local government stakeholders have shown a lot of commitment in the youth by being a part of this program. Let's give them a round of applause. I see a lot of representatives from the local government. It shows that their office is open for you. But the question is, stop asking your leaders what they have to give you. What about what you have to offer them to be able to do their job properly? I volunteer every time, with every ministry, with every group, with every NGO. Sometimes it's not about what you can take, it's about what you can give. And when you begin to give, then you start to discover the loopholes. Let's go beyond criticizing our leaders. To become a better leader is not about criticism. It's about drawing closely with the existing leaders, identifying their weaknesses, working on their weaknesses to improve yourself. So when the time for you to lead comes, you become a better leader. So now, I want to challenge you young people. Begin to look at your environment. They have said that they are available for you in Agro. If you have any agricultural idea or area of interest, you should come to their office. I hold on to that. I'm a young person, anything an adult say, I hold on to it. And I demand from them based on what they've said. I trust that my vice chairman did not just say it. He said it to be accountable. That's what we need to be doing as young people. Let's hold our leaders accountable. Let's begin to demand for things that can not only improve us as an individual, but change our society at large. Don't be self-centered. Don't be self-seeking. Begin to think about what you can do. Look around this community. When I was coming, one of the things I noticed within this community, I noticed that we had a lot of young people idle. So from the place they were all on the road, idle, doing nothing. Then I think before I got to, I saw the local government. I saw a lot of plastic, just different things on the road that is not supposed to be there. When last did you clean your community? It's called youth taking responsibility. When last did you say, my local government, you have supported communal issues. So let's not focus on what does the state have to offer within our local government. Local government is open for everybody. It's about time to start collaborating with local governments and youth. Sometimes it looks like you're laboring, but trust me, for every labor and every investment, there's a person. I hope you understand me. And I also want to challenge you guys. If you're not happy about the leaders you see today, equip yourself, develop yourself, be the leader that you hope to see, and get involved. Thank you very much.
I think she deserves a better applause. Before I hand over this mic to the Vice Chairman, Mr. Omola, I have had the privilege to listen keenly with Mrs. Damola when we were planning on long-lasting document for Youth Council. She believes in whatever solution or social problem you want to solve, it must not be to yourself alone, it must be people-oriented. And all she has said here is not just about you, but about the generation that will come after all of us. Please a round of applause for her. I'd like to hand over this mic to the Vice Chairman to speak on that topic.
Well, standing on the existing report, like the past speaker said, it's an interactive section. I may be asking one or two questions to forge ahead. As a youth, what do you want? What do you want? Okay, the mic. Yes. What do you want? Yes. Wealth creation, development, progress. Now, let me start with this. I'm a product of the society. When I got to Ife as a jambite, I was not born with silver in any way. My parents had to struggle. I realized that I need there's for me to do one or two things to support the income, what they give me at home. I learned printing work from year one. Go and find out the record. Great first sticker, I started printing great first stickers of record. I have the life for that. I realized that I need to do something as a youth. Coming to outside world, I felt I should be a politician. I never thought I would contest. But the desire to change my community propelled my coming to politics. It's on this estate. I started afforestation, tree planting. Of course, that was what I did at Katsina when I served. I got the best copper award because I planted tree in Katsina last week. I was offered a job. I couldn't stay. 1991, the records are there. Katsina State. I did afforestation. The pictures are there, the certificates are there. But there was offered a job, I couldn't stay. Katsina is not my town, it's not my state. I just felt that I have free hours, endless hours to serve. I must give back to the community. So in the process of giving back to the community, you earn a living. You must have a passion for your community. Coming to politics, my discussion will be practical. Citing my case as an example. This estate, I was the first councillor of this Abeswa estate. The records are there. While I did that conversation, I felt something is wrong. How do we tell people at the government to get it right? Of course, I have a different version of councillorship and executive. Then, because there is difference between a legislator and holding an executive position. But the passion that you must give back to the community must prepare us to get what we want in life. Now to our topic. As a farmer, because I'm a farmer, a proud farmer. A proud farmer, I read agriculture, the first degree, second degree, and I'm doing my thesis. I'm running my thesis on agriculture again. I'm a proud farmer, a practicing one. Before I came to this venue today, I've been to my farm. So you can start something, like a speaker said, you can start something. Farming is so simple nowadays. I'm a coordinator for YAI. I know YAI offers employment. I have YAI coordinator, YAI face of YAI, some of them are there. YAI still empowers people. So but in the process of that, not all the youth that get that empowerment make best use of it. So they don't actually want to get involved in farming. In a case whereby somebody empowers you, gives you the produce and everything, and you're looking for a market for it, who's to be blamed? Are we ready to lead? If you are not a good follower, you cannot be a good leader. So that's the reason why I ask, what do you want? Are we ready to continue to deceive ourselves, or you want to be part of nation building? If yes, let us go back to farming. It is not difficult. We have fish farming, snail is there, turkey farming. Look at when you say empowerment, even at the local government level, you want to offer empowerment to people. See, most of our youth are not even coming up. You see the elderly, without people that will be standing for funds and up and down. So what do you actually want as youth? Fast money? It's not available nowadays. It is not available. If you want to hold on to your name, I'm talking as a politician, though. I'm talking as a community man. You see, names are golden. You must cherish your name. If you don't want to mess yourself up, go to farming. The money, if there is money in farming. Imagine a turkey farmer. I am one. To get a turkey to maturity stage about 7,000 naira, 8,000 naira. Go to Christmas. You said that turkey 25,000, 30,000 naira. If you have 100 of that, you have money. You don't need to spend the whole day with them, a few hours in the morning, but later in the evening. Instead of going to, we know how we mess our time up as youth, but my question, I'll go back to my question, what do we want?
Please, can we genuinely get some response to it?
Yes.
Please, okay, thank you very much.
Build the youth, build the nation. Build the youth, build the nation. Build the nation, build the youth.
Thank you very much, sir, for that valid question that you started with. My name is Comrade Sunday Obanubi from Ibakojaye. Basically, what we want is sincere and sincere leadership. Bottom line, we want sincere leadership from those that have the power to make change. Can I now demand, sir, using this platform, that, sir, in the new cabinet you'll be setting, can the super for agri, under which the youth department falls, be a youth and a real youth? Can the SA be a youth, a young person that resides in that community? Because that is where it starts from. I understand that the civil service, okay, they can be transferred. So the HOD might not even be living in Mosokola, might not be familiar with what is happening there. But the political office holders should be people that are committed. That is point one. Point two is, based on experiences, sir, a lot of programs are approved only on paper. They don't get to the streets. They are approved only on paper. They don't get to the streets. Please, we want change in this direction. Then also, I want to add that, please, the empowerments that are done, the empowerment should be for the community, not for the few political players. Empowerment are done, but you have 3 empowerment programs, you see the same names appearing on them. You give bursary, but the bursary you give, you don't give to the community, you share slots. CDA, Green 5, this party leader, take this number. You're not building a nation in that manner. There has to be equality for all. And sir, I want to advise, also for this will be my last point, sir. It is not difficult. I'm sure almost everybody there must have traveled out. A lot of people here have traveled out. I have not. But I know that things work in the Western world. Please, let's have the database of your local government, whereby you work with people that, you should be able to know everything about me as my representative, as my leader. You should be automated, not on Excel sheets. These things are very simple. ClearUp is an app that can avail us on all of this. These are what we want, sir. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Sunday. Obarobi, an activist. Okay, I have someone here. Please, let's just hit the name on the head.
A very good morning to you. Good afternoon, actually, distinguished members of the audience and eminent personalities who have been invited to grace this particular occasion. Before I go too deep into what I've been saddled with, I think it is pertinent to warmly appreciate the National Youth Council of Nigeria Lagos State Chapter under the leadership of the brother, Lagos Benjamin Oba. This is one of the very important discussions we should be having in this country. You don't sit on the fence and expect changes to take place. We don't also sit in the comfort of your living room and surf through the internet and expect that changes should be made. We all have to be involved, and that is why we are all here seated. So I thank you for this opportunity, and I bring you good tidings and warm greetings from distinguished Senator Musili Olatunde Obanikoro, who would have been personally present at this particular event, but for exigencies of other activities for whom I am standing in, and Barrister Sulaiman Olalekon Adebi. Employment creation in Lagos State. Without reading out statistics necessary, we can ask ourselves three fundamental questions. And in providing answers to these questions, we'll be able to understand where we are, where we should be, and where we are going to end up being in the end. And this question is, the first question rather, who is employable? Who is employable? Everybody talks about employment. Employment is not a facade. It's not something that you pick in the sky. It is something that has to do with a process. And it is a process of getting someone gainfully active for the purpose or the objectives for which such a person has been engaged, whether for an organization, whether for a private individual, but it is a process, it is a means through which somebody is gainfully activated to perform certain duties or responsibilities for whoever has employed that person. So, who is employable? That's my first question. The second question is going to border on who an employer is. Who is an employer? Whether of labor or an employer of service, who is an employer? And the third question is going to border on who is an employee. By the time we are able to decipher the meaning, the both connotative and denotative meanings of these three questions, we will get to our required destination. So without wasting further time, we often talk about lack of employment. And as a matter of fact, it is not every graduate of a tertiary institution in this country that is employable. If we're going to be honest with ourselves, you have gone to school 4 years, 5 years, 6 years, irrespective of your course of study, to run through certification for a particular program. Now, when you are certified for that program, it is presumed, assumed, and inferred that you have that knowledge as regards that particular program for which you have gone to the university. But of course, upon graduation, the question is, are you prepared? Are you competent? Are you qualified? Are you learned or knowledgeable enough to play certain roles vis-a-vis what you have gone to school to study for that particular organization that is going to employ you? So today, I think we should be factual enough to identify within ourselves as youths that, look, beyond going through the four walls of tertiary institutions, we should make ourselves employable. And for you to be employable, it simply means, if I'm an employer of labor, for instance, and all of us gather here to come for an interview with me, I'm not just going to look at the certificate. Of course, you have gone to school, you can lay claim to have been granted or given that particular certificate. But in my interaction with you, which you call interview, I want to know whether you are employable. So I'm going to appeal to majority of us here, and those who are not here, especially the youths, that it is beyond just going to school. It is also training yourselves. You can talk about an aeronautical engineer who is not going to come to my yard to test whatever it is that he has gone to school for. So if he has gone to school, he's been certified as a graduate, and is sitting in the confines of his father's sitting room, and is not actually going to learn the trade, what is being done in the recess of it. Polytechnic education is supposed to cater for 70% practical and 30% theory. But the truth is, do you even get up to 70% practical in our polytechnics today? The answer is no. A university is playing the reverse role, where it is more of theoretical frameworks and teachings than practical. Even the government technical colleges today, how many of them really train us on current machines, mechanisms, and current activities in this particular field and endeavors? But what we have, even for a mass communication graduate, is a console of maybe some 1980 that you are practicing with. And when you find yourself in one of the online radio stations or one of the formidable radio stations, you are talking about a console of 2010, and you're like, oh, I'm seeing this for the first time. So my admonition to all of us as youth is, let us endeavor to make ourselves employable. It is beyond our certification. Let us make ourselves employable. Now, the second question, without wasting too much of the time, because I know other speakers will also have to give their opinion, is who is an employer? And now, this is where the theme for this year's International Youth Day becomes very key and important. In an agricultural sector, I'm not an agricultural person, so pardon me if I'm not too ebullient in that area, is that there are various means through which agriculture provides quantum of employment for people. Whether you are a youth, whether you are probably older than the category that is placed to be youth, we can all engage in agricultural employment in a way that I do not need to go to the farm. I can be an IT guy and provide IT solutions to agricultural produce. It could even be in sales and marketing of what has been manufactured. I may be a landowner and not interested in putting my land into agriculture. I can engage people to come and farm on that land, or fish on that land, or do anything that they want on that land. I'm also employing people into the area of agriculture. But what do we have today? Majority of us, even those who have gone to school to study agriculture, they want to work in banks. They want to work in multinational organizations. They want to work at Dangote and so on and so forth. Many of us have looked away from how to bring or invite IT, communication, whatever it is that we are going to study. I have a brother-in-law who is into agricultural financing. He is not putting his money into so many other things other than agriculture. So he's put together a lot of small petty farmers within the farmyard of their houses, and he's put resources together for them to support them in whatever it is that they are doing, in terms of giving them tools, equipment, fertilizers, and what have you to work with. So I implore us to also think within that we can be employers without necessarily setting up a physical structure that is called a company. You can run a company today from your home. You can run a company today on your phone. So if you are not employable and you are not an employer, then the only thing you can be in the three questions that I've asked is to be an employee. And the question is, who is an employee? An employee is somebody who is paid to do a job, render service, and is getting a reward for whatever it is that he has done. But in the case of an employee, he's going to be on his toes all through his life. If he does something today that is suiting to his employer, there's every possibility that the employer rewards him for the job that he has done. But where an employee does not work to the satisfaction of his employer, the rest is history. He gets booted out of office. And that's why quite a number of us would say that, yes, I worked for that man, he didn't appreciate what I did for him. It's because you have tailored yourself to becoming only an employee. And the other thing is that these three questions or three personalities can intertwine. You can be an employee, be an employer, and also understand or put yourself in a position to be employable. So if you are an employee, I could be working for, like I work for Senator Muslim Baniboro today, it does not stop me from going into agricultural farming and employing people to also work for me in my farm. He himself has his farm. He's got livestock and what have you that he takes care of. And when you look around, you find out that there are so many of us today, even people in government today, if you know them quite well, a lot of them are going back into rearing cows, rearing rams, and what have you. Even if for the the sake of not necessarily making too much money for him, but saving money. For example, during Ileya festival, you as a senator, you as a president, or you as a governor would have to give out a lot of grants to people. Why not start with a ram of 20,000 naira today and begin to rear it, raise it, treat it, keep it, farm, produce it, up to the extent that as at the time the next layer comes on board, is in the region of about 150 or 200,000, and when you give it out, it is more than what you have done. The process has not only made you an employer, it has also made you employable, and you will get people who will become employees in your field. You don't have to wait to be a senator. You don't want to wait to be a governor. But the bottom line is that we can all imbibe this culture. That small space behind my father's house, let me see to what good use I can put it. That space belonging to my friend's father that has been lying fallow for hundreds and donkey years, can I put it to good use to make something out of it? It doesn't have to be crops. It doesn't have to be farm produce. If you can develop as an engineer a machine that will grind pepper for people without necessarily doing this, people would come up and they will buy these machines. And if you can sell your patent rights as it is, even as permitted by law, to anybody that you so desire, the Dangotes of this world did not just come from the sky in a different way that we all did. We all came to achieve a purpose, and I believe that if we ask ourselves very sincere questions, and we answer these sincere questions within ourselves, we'll be able to get to the destination we all agree. Thank you for listening, and God bless you.
Can we appreciate our barrister? Yes, very quickly, when you see a lawyer, I mean a certified lawyer, you will know them. They are the one that can twist your case. When you already give up that I've killed this person, I'm going to be killed too. Go to a professional lawyer like him. He will tell you did not kill anybody. The person died himself. A round of applause for him. All right. While he was speaking, we have the presence of my Egbo. I just want to recognize him. Let's recognize his presence. He's the current vice chairman of Agege local government. Please put your hands together for Honorable Abiola Benga. A round of applause for him. Thank you. Build the nation. Build the nation. Because of time, I'll be timing our panelists now.
I've gathered here all the youths in Lagos West, leadership of all youth organizations, cut across every local branches and voluntary youth organization. So we are doing an event to commemorate the International Youth Day. So at the National Youth Council Lagos State chapter, we have organized the Senatorial Town Hall meeting, whereby young people across the Central District will come together and channel our proposition, our request, and try to look at what youth are demanding for. So we have gathered all youths here. They have been making their position known and public to the policymakers and the leadership in the state. So this has been going on for the past 2-3 hours.
My name is Honorable Dayo Shino, the Vice Chairman Monsonkonla LCDA, representing my boss, Honorable President Olabisi Adebajo, at this event.
So I've gathered here today to celebrate the Youth International Day.
Yeah.
What's your advice to the youth?
We've said a lot while speaking, but the bottom line is what I said inside, what do we want as youth? What do we want as youth? But if you want something good, we should learn to be part of the development in our various communities. Give back to the community will recognize you and give you recognition as well. So most of us as youth tend to seek for white-collar jobs, but the theme now, the vogue now is agriculture. We have every reason to be part of sustainability with agriculture in our various development, in our various local government. That is what I want for the youth. They should look inward to participate in agricultural sector.
What do you have for the youth of this state?
I have a simple advice for the youth of the state. All I just want them to do is begin to carve their own scope of coverage, identify a problem, create a solution that is sustainable enough for their community, and begin to impact their community from what they have control over.
Michael Abiola, Vice Chairman Agege Local Government.
Local government, which of the projects that you have asked them to that will stay
is the beginning. Information, orientation, reorientation, and then engagement. So this platform is a very necessary one and a very important step in the engagement of youth as regards what you have just said. So for me, I think the Lagos State government is doing a lot, but a lot more still needs to be done because of the inclusion. You see, when we are talking about youth involvement, youth engagement, we are even looking at the formal sector. We are not even looking at the informal sector. You know, the NSAS has taught us a lot. If you look at the NSAS, you will see the troop of youth who are on the other side. What do we do about them? The numbers are so high. So right now, the platforms available through the Lagos State government cannot even cater for that informal sector. So what do? We go back to the foundation. Today or yesterday, if the Awolowos of yesterday did not start free education, I don't know how many of us would have read or gone to school or graduated. We probably would have had a chunk of more unemployed youth than we have today, even though the one of today is even too high or too much or too many for Lagos State government or any government, even the Nigerian government as a state, to cater for. So we need to go to the foundation. What's the foundation? Go to China, Germany, and developed countries. How did they overcome poverty? How did they overcome youth unemployment? They went to the grassroots. We look forward to a day and a time where we can have a GSS1A, A for automobile. So you are learning the normal education curriculum. At the same time, you are learning automobile. If you look at the 3 stages of where we have dropouts, you are looking at between GSS2 to SS1, the first stage. The second stage, between SS2 to the university stage. Someone will write WAEC. 30 or 15% of them will pass. You now want them, after that 15%, we now still go and write JAMB. Of that 15%, only 15% will pass JAMB. Of that 15% that passed, and you now want them to write post-UME again. Other countries, is it like that? Once you finish higher institution, you proceed to college or you proceed to the university. But you have put in 3 barricades. Where are the rest that didn't get into higher institution? So those are the questions we need to be asking ourselves so that we can go back to the foundation. But if you had GSS1C, carpentry, GSS1A, agriculture, GSS1D, GSS1W, welding, they will be gaining that curriculum, normal school curriculum, at the same time gaining experience. So even if they drop out at GSS3, they will become a more sophisticated dropout. Even when they finish SSC and they don't pass WAEC, they become an experienced electrician or an experienced plumber. That is what China did. And that's why China today is one of the biggest countries.